Okay, Georgia smashes Tennessee Tech 48-3, about like I thought, something like that. Georgia scored a bunch of points and then they wouldn't cover. It's fine. Thought the run game looked good. Georgia got a lot of backs, man. They got a lot to work with in the running back world. Um, there was a lot of this game where Tennessee Tech didn't have positive yards. Um, so that wasn't unbelievable. You got a first shot to see Trevor Etienne, assuming he's coming off a suspension. That's never been clarified. Um, 45-yard run was about what you like. That's what he can do. And then Nate Frazier, I thought Nate Frazier was okay today. I didn't think it was like last week. He's so sudden though. You could see that on some of those runs. There's no real injuries to speak of. So that's I wanted to say that real fast. I think Carson had a pretty good day running the ball. So watch yourself, Gunnar Stockton. And then Carson 18 of 25 for 242 yards, 5 touchdowns, which ties the school record. There was times today where Carson really played well. I mean, in my mind, he really, really played well. Two hands on the ball, the running. Um, if he continues to play like that, Georgia's going to really do well over time. And you'll see riding home before you see this. But I tell you what, man, Georgia's going to absolutely hammer Kentucky. Kentucky's not where they need to be right now. I'm actually going to do some work while I'm talking to you. Kentucky's not where they need to be right now. It's not good enough, and I'm just not impressed. I know it's hard to play at Commonwealth. Kirby reiterated what I've been talking about over time, but the fact of the matter is, you can't have that much of a dogfight with a Carolina team that's just not good, and really expect to compete with Georgia because you're not going to. And I mean, I would look out. This is good. This could be really bad for Carolina or for Kentucky. Excuse me. Talked to Carson after the game. Um, 5 touchdown performance. That's a lot. And I, I thought he looked really good at times. Now Ryan, I think it was Ryan, maybe Matt, was talking about how there were moments where he wasn't so hot, but I don't recall those personally. And again, I'm on the field, and so my perspective is a little bit different. I'll tell you right now, and I don't know his name off the top of my head. Whoever number 92 is for Georgia, that guy is very sudden on the defensive line. He had a sack near the goal line. That was a very impressive play by him. And I think this is a really good Georgia team. This is a team that when you look at the day, and it's 6 o'clock right now, and you look at the day and you see Penn State doing what they do. James Franklin, bro, you can't struggle like that, man. It's just not good enough. You got Georgia Tech uh, losing to Syracuse. Whatever. I mean, not shocking. It's not a great loss for Georgia Tech, but you thought you had so much momentum, and then you're 2-1, but it's not. You're not with a bullet anymore. It doesn't look great. I don't know. It just I want to watch Alabama tonight. I want to watch Ohio State tonight. Really, it's a really good weekend of college football. I want to get a haircut. We'll see if that happens. Um, Brett Thorson's one kick, his one punt, man, that was an amazing punt. I was on the field the whole game. I don't usually do that for these games because there's other stuff. I want to conclude the game quickly, kind of get in, get out, stuff like that. Um, that's not so easy for me to do. And so when you have an opportunity like these games, you try to take advantage. It doesn't always work. It doesn't always work, needless to say. But in this case, I stayed on the field because I wanted to see as many of these young guys play as possible. And there were times when I think KJ Bolton may have started, but he didn't. But I don't know if he started. He had a sack, and then he was out there for a lot of the other moments for Georgia. So I thought it was a good day for a lot of these young guys. Arian Smith, 4 catches. Dylan Bell, 4 catches. Dominic Lovett, 3. Lawson with a great, all 4 of those guys I just mentioned had a touchdown. I think everybody that Carson hit had two. It was so Bell had a touchdown, a 22-yarder. Colby Young, that's who it was, a 6-yarder. And then you had Lovett with 10, Arian Smith with a 50, and then Lawson with a 37. Lawson Lucky was more wide open. I was gonna make a Lucky triplet joke. You know what? I'm not doing that. I don't need Dustin and Mike and Miles coming after me. They know where I live, or they I'll tell you what, man. You went to Clarkson High School in the '90s. You definitely know how to handle yourself for sure. You weren't messing with those guys. But that was a great play by Lawson, wide open. It looked like Oscar Delp was banged up. As it turns out, I don't think he was. It looked like they were messing with his toe. Kirby said it was an ankle. I thought he went back out there. I'm almost certain he did. Kirby said they took him out the half. I don't know. I don't know. This, these games go by so fast. Um, almost 500 yards of total offense, only at on 134. The part about these kind of games with Kirby afterwards that I enjoy the most is he he says, "Well, we should beat them." He's exactly right. There should people shouldn't say, "Oh, like the excuse." I mean, I understand that like Bowling Green is a higher level of program than Tennessee Tech, but if you're Penn State and you're supposed to be a top 10 team, you can't be goofing around with them in the third and fourth quarter. Like that's not going to work. And so today Georgia took complete advantage of their situation. I may start walking around if they start with the blowers. One other thing too that you want to touch on about these days is you see why this works for Georgia all the time. Like here's what I mean: when when the younger guys got in there, nothing changed on an accountability standpoint or from an accountability standpoint. There were all sorts of things that happened that it still mattered a lot. And I don't hate the kicking the field goal situation at the end. What is
Just video bombing, man.
most just can't
You can make it a tradition.
what's wrong? Give
What's
people
wrong with me?
here.
I just got sprayed by those sprinklers.
Have some wax. Congratulations. I hope this works. It might not.
Look, man, if you're ever questioning what we do
Oh,
for you guys, look at me.
you're out here winning every day.
Wet.
Let's see that one more time. One more time.
Check me out.
Yeah, I'm concerned
Well, now
about
I
you.
got these scars.
No, I don't.
No, you
I
don't.
don't ask about scars.
You don't.
No, I
You can
don't.
have it. You can have it.
Oh, I'm out
I'm
now.
not
Again,
putting
now I
I'm
have
not
your
doing
earwax.
that for you.
Now I have your earwax. Great, wonderful. That was outstanding. Um, yeah, I think when you see the amount of guys that roll in and roll out, right? Ryan's trying to roll right now. He's supposed to be better later, but I tell you, when you don't perform at dog post, you're gonna be on crutches. I'll let you know that right now. Um, yeah, I thought Carson played well. Now I'm going to have to see it. For the record, if you're watching this, you don't know. The SEC Network is actually going to replay this game. I posted it on Dog Post. Um, Obviously, y'all are not all subscribers. I believe it's Wednesday morning early, and I think Thursday late going into Friday. But you check and see. But they are replaying it. C.J. Allen with 5 tackles. Christian Miller played well, 4 tackles. Ingram Dawkins had 4. Jalen Walker, look, they're just way better than Tennessee Tech. I spent, I think, 3 summers going up to Cookville or Cooksville, whatever it is, Tennessee, and we played, basketball camp up there. That's what I associate Tennessee Tech with, was watching Jack Waters. Jack Waters play. It was my high school coach, Dwight Phillips Jr. His dad played on that team with me at Tucker for 2 or 3 years. I don't remember how long, but Jack Waters was a all SEC performer at Ole Miss, a leading free throw shooter, I think nationally, or at least in the conference, for a couple of his years at Ole Miss, and he was our head coach. I just remember going up to Chattanooga. You got those hills. Coach Waters would throw the van in neutral, and he about scared us half to death a couple of times with that stuff. But it was a great time going up to Tennessee Tech, and we learned a lot. Up there. We went to Middle Tennessee a couple of times as well. I can't remember which one we went to over time. Anyway, not that y'all care at all, but that's what I think about with Tennessee Tech. When we were younger, when we were in high school, the guys at Tennessee Tech, they looked huge. They were huge college guys, and of course, that group at Tucker, my final year, you had a guy I played in college. We had a guy that signed with FAMU and went to Tech. Eventually, played at Tech, and then we had a guy that signed with Georgetown. We had a guy who was an exceptional athlete, Daryl Davidson. He knows. We know each other. He's a good friend of mine. All these guys were good friends of mine. And then the guy that won a gold medal the Sydney Olympics. That was our starting five at Tucker. So we ran around the court, scored a lot of points, and that's what we did at Tennessee Tech a couple of times. But they were way, way, way outmatched today, and it wasn't ever going to be a game. Look, I think, by the way, I think Georgia came out and handled it. There was nothing to talk about. That you want as many of those, um, games as you can, and they had that today. Now you look at the rest of the season. You've got the Kentucky game. I mean, Georgia very well could blow Kentucky out. I don't think that's out of the realm of possibility at all. Carolina doing what they're doing to them right now. If South Carolina is beating you up, you got problems. Okay, and the thing about Kentucky is, and this has been the case for a long time, they're just like Georgia. They have a lot of really physically gifted, like they're physical. It's like you're playing Ohio State, I guess, on the lines. They just don't have the playmakers that Ohio State, Georgia, and so forth do, and that's where it catches up with them. I thought Gunner was pretty good today, actually. Thinking of Kentucky made me think of Brock Vandergrift, made me think of Gunner Stockton. 10 of 12, 90 yards. I don't know how many he had rushing. Not that many, because he would have been, if he had over 18, he would have been one of the leading rushers. Carson Beck's doing really well with his feet. Okay, Carson Beck's doing really well with his feet, so that's important. He's playing the position well, two hands on the ball the whole time. There's nothing on here that's surprising. Anthony Evans with a outstanding, game-changing play right at the start with that long punt return. This guy is deadly. This guy is deadly. And look, I taught all summer, and it is still true. And it is coach speak from Kirby, yeah, but it's hard to play at Commonwealth at night. And his quote to someone, I didn't ask a question. I'm so busy after these games. Said, "I can't think of a time we've been up to Kentucky and it's not been a battle." That's true. He says it's never easy up there. It's never easy on the road in the SEC. I don't think it's going to be easy on the road, but I think I think Georgia. I don't know what the line is, but if it's under 20, I got the Dogs. That's what I've got because they're just too good. I mean, for what I'm seeing from Kentucky, that's not going to be good enough. So, you go up there to Lexington, you play at Commonwealth, you go get a W, and then you get ready for the trip to Alabama. It's that simple. That's where we're at in the season. Alabama has looked okay. They've looked good. They certainly can beat Georgia. I thought Texas's win today was not surprising. A good win, solid. Texas, that'll be a fight for Georgia. So there's all sorts of season left to be played today. They've got 8 conference games in a row. That's going to be very difficult for Georgia. But today, a fun day, a surprisingly hot day today. I don't need that in my life, right? I get my 3-mile run on basically every day. I don't need to come out here and sweat to death. And like, I don't know who I can talk to about that part, but I look, it's early September. I thought we were heading into fall. Like, who's in charge of this? And we need that to chill out. The next game that you play at home here with Georgia's going to be when Auburn comes to town. So hopefully it won't be like it wasn't even hot, and I'm out here sweating to death. I don't understand it. So, but it was any day in Sanford is a great day, and college football. We live in a great country where you can just go to a college football game or watch it all day long. Like those of us who have that disease that do. So I would encourage you to make sure that you're signed up for our newsletter. It's a great tool to have, and I think Kentucky's in very serious trouble with Georgia coming into town. I will probably say, I may adjust that a little bit, but I've just kind of seen enough. Like, you got to be better than what Kentucky's showing to really fight with the Dogs. It's not there yet. Thanks for watching. We'll see you on the newsletter.